Disclaimer: this story explores mature emotional themes and relationships. While it does not contain explicit material, viewer discretion is advised. I never imagined my quiet, predictable life would take such an unexpected turn, but the night she showed up at my doorstep, soaked from the rain, eyes filled with something between desperation and defiance, I knew nothing would ever be the same again. Her name was Eva. We hadn't spoken in years, not since college. She was always the kind of person who slipped in and out of lives like a well-kept secret, never staying too long, never letting anyone get too close. And yet, here she was, standing on my porch at nearly midnight, arms wrapped around herself, waiting for me to let her in. I hesitated, not because I didn't want to help her, but because I wasn't sure if I could handle the memories she brought with her, the late-night conversations, the fleeting touches, the way she used to look at me like I was the only person who ever truly saw her. "Lena," she said, her voice quieter than I remembered, almost like she was afraid of the answer. "I know, this is a lot to ask, but I don't have anywhere else to go." I should have asked questions. I should have demanded to know why, after all this time, she was suddenly back in my life, but instead, I stepped aside and let her in. The warmth of my apartment seemed to catch her off guard. She blinked at the cozy space, at the soft glow of the fairy lights lining my bookshelf, at the half-empty mug of tea I'd left on the counter. I could see it in her expression, how out of place she felt. I grabbed a towel from the bathroom and handed it to her. "Here, you're drenched." She took it without meeting my eyes, muttering a quiet thanks before rubbing the fabric over her hair. Droplets of rainwater slid down the curve of her neck, disappearing beneath the oversized hoodie she wore. It was my hoodie. My stomach twisted at the realization. She must have kept it all these years. "I can sleep on the couch," she offered, shifting uncomfortably. "It's fine," I said quickly. "I have a guest room." I didn't miss the way her shoulders tensed. She nodded, but she didn't move right away. It was as if something unsaid hovered between us, thick and suffocating. I tried to ignore it. I pointed her toward the spare bedroom, giving her space. But sometime in the middle of the night, I woke to the sound of soft footsteps. My breath caught as my door creaked open, and in the dim light, I saw her standing there. "Ava," my voice was groggy, laced with confusion. She hesitated, lingering in the doorway, fingers clutching the hem of her sleeves. "I couldn't sleep," she admitted. "I should have told her to go back to bed. I should have set boundaries." But then she took a step forward, and my pulse skipped. She was close enough now that I could see the way her lips parted like she was about to say something, but thought better of it. Close enough that I could smell the faint scent of lavender clinging to her skin. I swallowed hard. "Ava, she exhaled shakily. "Can I stay? Just for tonight?" I knew she wasn't just talking about sleeping in my bed. She was asking for something more. Something I wasn't sure I was ready to face. But when I looked into her eyes, I knew one thing for certain. She had never really left me. And maybe I had never let her go. Ava didn't say anything else that night. She just stood there, waiting, watching me with the same quiet intensity that had always made me feel like she could see straight through me. I swallowed the lump in my throat and shifted to the side, silently making room for her. She hesitated for only a moment before slipping beneath the covers, careful to keep a few inches of space between us. We lay there in silence, the only sound the steady rhythm of the rain outside. But sleep didn't come easily, not when the weight of her presence stirred up memories I had spent years trying to forget. "How long have you been back in town?" I finally asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Ava turned her head slightly, her blonde hair fanning across the pillow. "A few weeks." She had been here all this time, and yet, she hadn't reached out until now. "Why didn't you tell me?" She let out a breath, staring at the ceiling. "I didn't think you'd want to hear from me," I frowned. "That's not, isn't it?" She turned toward me then, propping herself up on one elbow. "Lena, I left without a word. I'd ghosted you. I knew it would hurt you, and I did it anyway." Her voice was steady, but there was something raw beneath it. "So, no, I didn't think you'd want me back in your life." I exhaled slowly, willing my heart to settle. She wasn't wrong. Ava had been my best friend, my almost something, and then one day, she was just gone. No explanation, no goodbye. I had spent years resenting her for that, for making me feel like I had imagined the connection between us. But now, lying here with her, I could feel it again, That quiet pull. The way she fit into my life like she had never really left. Why did you do it? I asked, softer this time. She hesitated. Because I was scared of what. Ava shifted, as if the answer was too heavy to carry. Of what I felt for you, of what it would mean if I stayed. She gave a small, bitter laugh. I thought leaving would make it easier, but it didn't. Something twisted in my chest. All those nights I had spent wondering what I did wrong, what I could have done differently, and now, here she was, telling me it had never been about me at all. It had always been about her. Before I could respond, she rolled onto her back, staring at the ceiling again. You don't have to forgive me, I don't expect you to. I turned my head, watching her in the dim light. She looked different from the girl I used to know, more guarded, like she was holding pieces of herself back. Maybe she always had been. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to remind her of how much she had hurt me, but all I could think about was the way she had shown up tonight, nowhere else to go, wearing a hoodie she had stolen from me years ago. I sighed, closing my eyes. Just go to sleep, Ava. She didn't say anything, but I felt it when she finally let her guard down, her body relaxing beside mine, and despite everything, despite the unanswered questions and lingering hurt, I let myself drift off too. But even in sleep, I knew this wasn't over. Ava was back, and no matter how much I tried to guard my heart, I wasn't sure I wanted her to leave again. The next morning, the weight of last night lingered between us like a storm that hadn't quite passed. I woke to find Ava already sitting up, her arms wrapped around her knees, staring at the window where the early light filtered through rain-streaked glass. She looked like she wanted to say something, but when she noticed I was awake, she pressed her lips together and stood. I should go. The words landed heavier than they should have. I pushed myself upright. Where? She hesitated. That was the problem. She didn't have anywhere else. And we both knew it. Instead of answering, she reached for the hoodie she had draped over the chair. Her movements were careful, like she was afraid of breaking something fragile between us. Frustration simmered beneath my skin. After all these years, after last night, she was still running. You always do this. The words were out before I could stop them. Ava froze, gripping the fabric in her hands. Do what? Her voice was quiet, but I could hear the edge beneath it. I exhaled, trying to steady myself. Leave before things get too real. She turned then, and for the first time, I saw something like guilt flicker in her eyes. You think I want to leave, don't you? A beat of silence. Then she shook her head, looking away. I don't know how to stay. Lena, the confession hit me harder than I expected. Ava had always been like this, untethered, always slipping through fingers before anyone could hold on to tightly. But now, hearing her say it out loud, I realized something. She wasn't afraid of me, she was afraid of herself. Before I could respond, a sharp knock at the door shattered the moment. We both stiffened. I wasn't expecting anyone. Ava looked at me, something like panic flashing across her face. My stomach twisted. Whoever was on the other side knocked again, louder this time. I slid out of bed, my pulse quickening as I crossed the room. When I reached the door, I hesitated. Ava was watching me, her body tense like she was ready to bolt. I swallowed hard and pulled it open. A man stood in the hallway, mid-30s, sharp features. Expensive coat. He didn't look familiar, but the way his gaze flicked past me, landing on Ava, his expression darkening, told me everything I needed to know. Ava inhaled sharply behind me. Found you, the man said, his voice smooth, too controlled. A chill ran down my spine. Ava's fingers curled into fists. Lena, she said quietly. But her voice was different now, low, urgent. I didn't know what was happening. But one thing was clear. Ava had been running from something, and now, whoever it was, had finally caught up. Ava didn't move. She was frozen behind me, her breath coming too fast. Too shallow. I could feel it, her fear filling the space between us like a warning. I didn't know who this man was, but knew one thing for sure. She didn't want him here. I tightened my grip on the doorknob. Who are you? The man smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Just someone looking for a friend. Ava's voice cut through the tension. Leave, Damien. The way she said his name sent chill down Neve's spine. I turned to her, searching her face for answers. She wasn't just afraid, she was trapped. Damien leaned against the doorframe, too casual. You didn't answer Jen's calls, Ava. That's not very polite. I changed the number. She shot back, his smile faltered. Yeah, I noticed. A sick feeling curled in Neve's stomach. I wasn't sure what was happening, but knew he didn't like it. I stepped in front of Ava, blocking his view of her. She doesn't want to talk to you. Damien's eyes flicked to me, sizing me up like it was a minor inconvenience. This isn't your problem. I lifted my chain. She's staying here. That makes it Neve's problem, for the first time. His mask slipped, his jaw tightened, his patience thinning. Ava, he said, ignoring me entirely. You and I both know running won't change anything. I heard her inhale sharp lie. I turned just in time to see her backing away. Her hands clenched into fists. I'm not running, she said, but her voice wavered. Damien's lips curled. No. Then why are you here? Silence. Ava wouldn't look at him, and suddenly understood she had left something, no someone, behind. She had run to escape it and now it had found her. Yeah, my heart pounded. I wanted to ask, to demand answers, but now wasn't the time. Right now I had one job, protect her. I squared in my shoulders. She told you to leave. Damien exhaled slowly, his expression unreadable. Then he took a step back, raising his hands like this was all some kind of misunderstanding. Fine, I'll go. But as he turned to leave, he shot Ava a loop that made the blood run cold. You know this won't last, he murmured. You can't hide forever. Then he was gone. The second the door shut, Ava exhaled, her whole body shaking. I reached for her without thinking. Ava, what? I need to go, she whispered, stepping back. Panic flared in Niam's chest. No, not again. She swallowed hard, looking at me like she was already halfway out the door. Lena, you don't understand then. Tell me, I pleaded, because I'm not letting you do this alone. Her lips parted, but no words came. She just looked at me like she wanted to believe me, like she wanted to stay, and then her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, and when she saw the screen, she went pale. Didn't have to ask who it was, because for the first time, I saw the truth in her eyes. Ava wasn't just running from something. She was running for her life. Ava's hands trembled as she gripped her phone, staring at the screen like it was a bomb about to detonate. Ava. Yeluvi's voice was firm, but Jin pulse pounded in the ears. Who is it? She didn't answer. She just turned the phone toward me, her knuckles white. Unknown caller. Ava sucked in a breath, hesitating only a second before pressing answer. She didn't speak first. Neither did the person on the other end, but whatever she heard made her go still. Then, T voice crackled through the speaker, smooth, unhurried, still playing house. Ava, her entire body locked up. A quiet gasp slipped past her lips, barely audible, but heard it. And that's when it knew, this wasn't just Damien, there was someone else. Ava swallowed, trying to keep her voice steady. Leave me alone. A soft chuckle. I did, but you didn't hold up your end of the deal. Yeluvi's stomach twisted. Still, Ava shook her head, panic creeping into her features. As I don't owe you anything. The voice didn't change, didn't rise, but somehow, it became sharper. Oh, sweetheart. You know that's not true. Voice skin prickled. Ava's grip on the phone tightened. Her breathing shallow. Go to hell, she whispered. I sigh. You always did have a mouth on you. A pause. Too bad it's not just your life on the line. Ava's face drained of color. I stepped closer. Ava, what's going on? She shook her head, her eyes pleading with me to drop it, to let it go. But how could I? The voice on the phone hummed. Amused. Ah, she doesn't know. Does she? Is my brave caught? Ava closed her eyes like she was bracing for impact. The voice continued, slow and deliberate. Tell her, Ava. Tell her what you did. I turned fully toward Ava now. What is he talking about? Tears welled in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Lena, then, the voice delivered the final blow. She ran because she had to, because if she didn't you'd be dead. The air left my lungs. In my head spun as I looked at Ava, searching for a denial, an explanation, anything, but all I saw was guilt, and that's when I realized Ava hadn't just been running, she had been protecting me from them. And now they had found us both. The room felt too small, too quiet. Ava's hands trembled as she ended the call, her chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. I could still hear the echo of that voice, that threat rattling in my skull. She ran because of me. Because if she hadn't, I wouldn't be standing here. I forced the voice steady. Ava, tell me the truth, right now. She squeezed her eyes shut, shaking her head. It doesn't matter. Lena. We need to leave. They won't stop. No. T step closer. You. My heart pounding. Don't care how dangerous they are. I'm not running until you tell me how they want you. She swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. I stole from them, in my stomach twisted. What? Ava let out a shaky breath. Didn't have a choice. I was desperate. I thought I could fix things. But she broke off, biting her lip, her hands gripping her arms so tightly her knuckles turned white. I reached for her gently. What did you take? She hesitated, then met in my eyes. A name. It still ran down Neve's spine. They're not just some criminals, Lena, she said. They're connected, deep. They keep records of everything, and I found something I wasn't supposed to. See, the pieces snapped together. This isn't about money, I realized. It's about who you found. She nodded. And they think I told someone. I exhaled sharp lie, trying to process it. She'd been running from this, from them. To protect me, and now, a noise outside made us both freeze. Footsteps. Ava grabbed Neve's wrist. Lena, we have to go. But it was too late. I knock, sharp. Slow, deliberate. Ava's grip tightened. Please. I look at her, at the fear in her eyes, then at the door. I made my choice. I wasn't letting her face this alone. I moved before she could stop me. Yanking open the drawer key to her bedside, Ilva's hand closed around the cold weight of the only thing I had to protect us. Ava's breath hitched. Lena, the knock came again, louder this time. I met her gaze, give voice low, no more running, its beat of silence. Then she nodded. Together we turned toward the door. And I reached for the handle. The air was thick with tension. Ava and I stood frozen, staring at the door. Another knock. It showed through the apartment, slow and deliberate. Ilva's pulse pounded, but didn't hesitate. As tightened did my grip on the metal object in the ease of a hand, a small pocket knife. Not much, but better than nothing. Ava's fingers brushed mine. Lena, I turned to her. We're done running. Her eyes searched mine, wide with fear, but also something else. Something stronger. Trust. She nodded. I took deep breath and reached for the doorknob. The moment I cracked the door open, figure pushed their way inside. In my heart leap as stumbled back. Ilva's grip tightening on the knife. Ava gasped, pressing against the wall, but then I saw his face. It wasn't Damien. It wasn't the voice from the phone. It was a stranger. He was tall, wearing a dark hoodie, his expression unreadable, but his hands were raised, empty. I'm not here to hurt you, he said quickly, his voice low. I came to warn you. Ava and I exchanged a glance. East didn't lower that knife. Who are you? His jaw tensed. Someone who doesn't want to see you end up like the last girl who crossed them. Ava stiffened. Beside me. What do you mean? The man sighed. Damien is IPA on. The people coming for you. They don't care about money. They care about control. He turned his gaze to Ava. And he took something that made them feel out of control. I stepped forward. Soak will help us. He hesitated, then reached into his pocket. I tensed, but he only pulled out Esmalik's drive. Because I have something that might even the playing field. Ava inhaled sharp lie. What's on it? He pressed it into her hand. Names, deals, proof. His voice dropped lower. The kind that makes powerful people very nervous. Ava stared at the drive, like it was a live wire. Go public, he urged. It's your only way out. I looked at Ava. She looked at me. We both knew the risk, but we also knew the truth. She wasn't the only one they would silence. This wasn't just about her anymore. Ava took deep breath and closed her fingers around the drive. We end this. 3 weeks later. The news spread like wildfire. Corruption, cover ups. Whispers of a powerful underground network dismantled overnight. Ava and I watched from our small motel room, holding hands as reporters detailed the fallout. Damien had disappeared. The unknown caller had gone silent. We were finally free. Ava turned to me, a soft smile playing on her lips. You stayed. I squeezed her hand. Of course we did, she exhaled, as if letting go of the last piece of fear that had followed her for so long. As I don't know what happens next. I smiled. We figure it out. Together. She leaned in, resting her forehead against mine. Together, and for the first time in a long time, the future didn't seem so terrifying. It seemed like beginning. Did you enjoy the story? What kind of stories would you like to hear next? Let us know in the comments.